Yes. Welcome everybody to the first edition of Copper Whiff
with Wooch and Griff. We're
That's
talking
us.
about Glover, Teixeira, and Thiago Santos, and what a fight that was.
Yep, UFC Apex back again. Where do we want to start? Glover, motherfucking Teixeira, pulling it out again.
The glove fits.
We found out that the glove still fits. 5-fight win streak, 41 years old. What a fucking crazy fight. From the beginning. I mean, let's run it down. Santos blasts him in the start. Yeah. Has him wobbled. All sorts of deer in the headlights.
Looking like how you think the fight would go from the start. Maybe he would have been put out by, Thiago's hits, but
hung in there. That was a classic Glover fight.
Teixeira just says, "Eat my scruff," and picks him up and dumps him, and then he just blasts him for the whole round on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, but this is what happens with Glover every single time. He gets hurt really bad, and then the person sort of goes down to finish, whoever he's fighting, and just can't quite get the job done. He snatches the single leg, holds on for dear life, and then sort of comes back, works his way into it, and just reverses to top control. Is that coming from the mic? The couch, I was going to say. Sorry, it's probably me moving. Yeah, no. So what are we saying? Like, he's reverses it, and then spends the rest of the time of the round, I guess, just maintaining position and snowballing. I mean, that's all we can say. And like the whole fight, it was back and forth. It was like both guys' game plans were able to be initiated, I would say, just in different phases. It was just like Santos blasting Glover. That's what we thought it would be. His advantage on the feet, the speed advantage, the striking would seem to be the advantage. And then, Glover was able to do the exact same thing, what he wanted to do, pick Santos up, who we thought had pretty great takedown defense, and just dump him in the middle of the cage.
4 minutes of ground control.
Yep.
Just blasting him. And then the second round comes around. You think, hey, all right, this isn't going to happen to Santos again.
Yep.
And it does.
Yep. Landslides him.
Probably
10-8.
Worse.
Who would you say? Like, how do you, with the scoring system, something we could probably go over for the whole card really, is that, like, do you score Santos almost finishing Glover in that first minute in the exchange, or do you score Glover's 4 minutes of control, top position, ground and pound, basically having him in full mount and just, as we said, just dominating the rest of the round?
I would say the Gloves ground and pound is probably puts a few more points on the board. It's not like he wasn't doing anything. Like, those were disturbing hits, and it was for a long time.
Santos did a pretty good job of defending most of it. It's just you could see that, like, he was not able to do so. Come round 2, come round 3, and then so round 2, Glover just runs him over 10-8 across the board. We'd have to say, just gets on top yet again, just beats him down. Third round, same thing. We're looking at it like, is Santos just going to be a deer in headlights? Is it just Glover's just going to start peppering him with shots and shoot for the takedown, and he just gets sat down very, very quickly? I think it was in the first punch that was thrown on the third round.
Santos looked pissed off.
Yeah.
He's like, how dare you 10-8 me in the second round?
Yeah, and then he chases the finish.
Let's get it.
That was it. Like, he chases the finish. He goes down, starts laying down the hammer fists. Looks like it's a fucking inch away from... we missed it too. End of round 2. Yeah. Glover almost snatches a guillotine. Oh, not a guillotine. Rear naked. That fight had 2 seconds more. I mean, he would have finished it there and then.
Yeah.
And then, as we said, the tides turn yet again. Santos starts the next round, just drops him, follows him down with a ground and pound and strikes. It looks like it's almost over again. And then somehow Glover rallies back. I think Santos must have used all of his last, part of his gas tank and energy to try and finish that exchange and, the ground and pound, and just did not quite have enough to do it. Glover weathers the storm, reverses the position, jumps straight to his back, and then just drags him to the mat. Finishes it off. I mean, got a full mount, ground and pound a bit more, and I think he just transitioned as soon as Santos tried to spin around underneath.
You got to give it to the Glove. For an old fuck, he's still got it.
Still got
on
it.
A 5-fight win streak now. Only fight that makes sense is for the title.
Yeah, I mean, that's really... But there's the talking point. It's like, was that enough for the UFC to say, hey, Glover deserves another crack? 5-fight win streak. Does he deserve another crack at the title? I think so. He does. Like, are they just going to see it in favor of Israel Adesanya for the title shot? Like, who? I mean,
Glove
what can
just
you do?
waited out then, dude.
I think he made a pretty good case to
just
say, hey, I'm the one who should be fighting for it.
Yep.
yeah, what can you say? Like, you should favor the contenders in that division, I believe. It's just Israel does not want to... there's no one left for him to fight, and he's saying, I want that fight for the title because I want to... I think the UFC aren't really beating around the bush here. They want that Jones-Izzy fight, and that seems to be the only way that they can make that happen is to have Israel move up and win that title that Jones vacated.
And Jones also got to move down now that he's at heavyweight.
Yeah, he's got to be considering it. It just depends what the movement is, though. If they do, in fact, consider the Glover versus Jan title fight, and then they make Israel wait.
I like that fight. I think that's a funny fight.
I think that's a fun fight.
If you had have gone back 6 months, and we could tell our previous selves that this is the fight that's happening. Reyes loses to Blachowicz, and then Glover loses to Santos. Oh, sorry, wins to...
Yeah, I had it in my mind after, the last title defense of John Jones that your next title fight was going to be Santos versus Reyes, like the two guys who gave Jones the most amount of problems in recent times. And that was looking to be, the big light heavyweight resurgence. And then they both got paired with two guys who you're thinking probably, more veteran savvy, a little bit over the hill, potentially. I mean, both guys are coming into these, into those fights on win streaks. It was just both Santos and Reyes had such strong performance against Jones. You're sort of thinking, like, if you're doing that well against the consensus GOAT, means they've really tightened up ship and, should be the favorites in their fights coming up against, sort of like the veterans who are looking to challenge. But that's not how MMA works. We just can't have nice things. We get Glover versus, Jan. Most likely. I'm not mad. It's just like, it just doesn't sound quite as juicy as Santos versus Reyes. So, but now, as we said, both those guys are on a 2-fight losing streak. That's what happens, man. You have to look at it like, when you fight John Jones, even though it might look like you were favored or having a favorable fight, you gave Jones all the problems he can handle. When you fight him for 5 rounds, most guys don't normally come out of it the same on the other end. And you can see each time that challenger who gave Jones such a hard fight has their next fight, they come in confident. They're like, I gave the GOAT so many problems, I'm dialed in, I'm ready to go. And just,
they lose. Except for DC.
It seems like it. If we were to really do our maths and statistics, it seems, in my calculations, the only person who fought John Jones to a decision and then fought him twice and were able to turn it around and get back in the win column straight away after facing him was DC. I'm sure there's obviously a few other names on there, but that's the only name that really sticks out. Like Gustafsson losing to Jones, then went on and fought Rumble and got, bullied and beat down. I mean, Anthony Smith had a good turnaround fight after Jones. He fought Gus, but we just kind of might have saw the very best version of Gus might have died in his Glover fight.
100%.
That really shows you though, like as well, like how far Gus has fallen, because like he looked impeccable in that Glover Teixeira fight a few years back, and then ever since he had 2-year layoff, came back and fought Jones, and since then he's just fallen off a cliff. And now Glover's just started to climb back up. As what have we got? What's that win streak he's got? So he loses to what's he got? So he loses to Gus, and then he had Misha, beats Misha Serkinov, loses to Corey Anderson, and then he's gone Carl Roberson, Ion Kutalaba, Krylov, Anthony Smith, and now Santos. I mean, that is one of the strongest runs in that division, other than the champions himself, honestly. Like, who else has a win streak like that in terms of, just level of competition? And each one of those guys all gave him a lot of problems at the start, and he just rallied back, as the glove tends to do. Crawls back onto that hand.
It fits. The glove fits.
All right, so in your estimation, do you think the UFC go with Glover for that title shot and they just scrap this Izzy Jan idea, or does Glover going to have to sit out for another year?
I think that the Izzy Jan thing's going to happen.
What do you do with Glover then, man? That's big win.
He waits.
What are you going to wait for? So, like, if you wait, you have to bet all of your chips that Jan beats Israel Adesanya.
They might make him fight somebody though.
Yeah, I know, that sucks. You shouldn't have to fight anybody. That's what I mean. Like, you just beat Anthony Smith and Thiago Santos.
Tell that to Tony Ferguson.
Yeah. Or Leon Edwards.
Yeah.
Or a bunch of fighters.
Disgusting.
It's hard, man. Like, the guy, I mean, he hasn't got many years left. He's in his 40s. He's doing his, some of his career's best work right now. in classic Glover, fashion. It's just, I think the sport wants to move on with its superstars. They want to build stars and they want to build big fights. And I think Glover having that title shot's just not what they're really interested in, it sounds like. Or
wouldn't it warm your heart to see a Glover Teixeira 41-year-old champion?
I mean, not really.
It warmed mine.
I'm not going to lie. If I'm going to be completely honest, I know it tickles your pickle a little bit.
It does.
It broke my heart seeing Reyes and Santos lose. I wanted those two to fight for the title. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I thought those two pairing up was going to be absolute fireworks. And instead we get fucking Jan and Glover. Rise to the top, man. The cream rises to the top.
Yep.
What can you say? Like, it was this fight told a story. This fight, we have to say, I don't know like how it all went over with you guys, but in my opinion, it's one of the best fights of the year. It was everything you could have asked for. It was both guys had their moments. It was insane from start to finish.
It was back and forth.
It was just super back and forth.
There was pain.
Unbelievable, impressive performance by Glover, in my opinion. Like, he's just at this age to be doing the work that he's doing is incredible. And I think, he's obviously deserving of a title shot. It just doesn't seem like the UFC have any plans to do that. So, we'll see we'll see what happens, but I feel like that's pretty much all you can say.